And hello, here we are with the value of right thinking. Now, as I said already in previous ones, and I like this sentence because it speaks so much into this, is in the value of right thinking. In every value, by the time we go through the whole value, what actually the value is, the benefits, characteristics of a person who has that value and steps to follow to become better than a value. After that, we always have the simple sentence, and it's a longer quote in general, but we always have the simple sentence: thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits become our destiny. Now that is so powerful because it speaks into right thinking. Because does that not mean that if everything begins with a thought, that if we don't like where we are just now, we need to change our actions, but before we do that, we need to change our thinking. See, thoughts become actions. Everything has started with a thought. So our future can be directly affected by being aware of taking control of our thinking. See, what we think about is what we will become tomorrow. And that's really important. There's a few things that talk into that. I mean, if you've watched the film The Secret, or read the book by Rhonda Byrne, then they talk about it. It's not really a secret. It's the power of attraction. You become what you think about. You are what you. The power of attraction. You are what you think about. You attract all these kind of things, and that is so important because that starts with a thought again. And also, if we don't like the results we're getting at the moment, because the results we're getting at the moment is because of the thinking we did in the past, even just 10 seconds ago. It's all thinking we did in the past. So we sometimes look at the results and say, I cannot do. And because of what you thought in the past, that doesn't mean you cannot do it right now. But our mind tells us already that, no, we cannot do that because we've got evidence that we couldn't do it. Now, I just talked about the value of facts as well. And I mean, that's the fact is that, when you change your thinking, you can change your results. Because thoughts come into your mind, then they go into your subconscious mind. And from there, they become actions. So does it not make sense then that if we want to change our results, we first need to change our thinking? And that's why the value of right thinking is so powerful, because from that, we already have, since maybe that result we looked at that, we say we cannot do it because we couldn't do it in the past. That might have been 6 months or a year ago. What kind of thinking have we had? If we had the same kind of thinking as we had before, as I think it was Einstein said that, the level of thinking that got you the problems you have right now will not solve them. So you need to change your thinking. Now that's all talks into right thinking. So if you still think exactly the same all the way along, nothing will change. And you wonder why nothing changes in your life, because you keep thinking and doing exactly the same. Because thoughts become actions, so you keep doing the same. And actions become your habits, so you start doing automatically. And that really becomes your destiny. And we all deserve the best life we can. You matter, and this all matters to each and every one of us. But it starts with a thought. See, thoughts always precede action. If we change our thinking, we change our future. It's so simple. Knowing this, we should carefully consider the end result of anything we put our mind or act upon. Now, again, Stephen Covey, I mention it so often, but this sentence is so true. Begin with the end in mind. So when you do that, what is the end result you want? And then work your way down. I write it down, by the way. And then you need to do some serious thinking about how you can achieve these kind of things. And, if in a year's time you want that. So every month I need to do this. And every week I need to do this. And every day I need to do this. And every day you can ask yourself, did I do something to get closer to my goal, to my vision, to what my passion is? If not, what can I change tomorrow? See, we can always make adjustments. Like an autopilot does it all the time. They do it automatically, because if you left an autopilot and it just goes in one direction, in the end, especially on a long flight, they're way off from where they could be. So the autopilot also makes a little adjustment, so they make sure they stay on time, on course rather. See, our minds are like computers. The data we put in directly affects the output. Now, people, you might have heard about garbage in, garbage out. Now, I'm a positive kind of guy, so I say Kiko, quality in, quality out. So make sure that you get more quality in. I say there is three things that govern and decide the rest of your life: the things you hear, the things you read, and the people you associate with. Now, when you think into all three of them, what are you putting in your mind? What are you listening to? What are you reading? The kind of people you listen to. So some of you might have to change one or two or all three of these kind of things to get better results, to have better thinking. And some people to think into you and masterminding with other people who are at a different vibration, at a different level. So it lifts you up with them. A rising tide lifts all ships. So therefore, it is important that we train our minds to think properly by filling them with the information and values that will enable us to develop our potential. Now, people have asked me before how we can actually reach our potential, because all of us have got a God-given potential that most of us will never reach, and we'll take it to the grave with us because we don't know how, and we only keep complaining, and negativity will never reach your potential, by the way. But the one thing that will do it is personal growth, personal development. I've actually got a few courses, especially the ones about the 15 laws. I did 16 videos, because for a lot of people, they can read a book and put it away. I'm going to do that and put it on the shelf, and I call it shelf development rather than self-development. But their thoughts were in there, but as soon as they put the book away, and stuff happens and they forget about it. It's the same as people who go to a motivational weekend or an inspirational weekend and learn all kinds of stuff, and and Monday happens. And might not be this Monday, it might be next Monday, but all the good intentions, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to take on the world and all that, and Monday happens. So we need sustainable. That's why this values-based leadership process, Artie and myself, my wife and partner, and also fellow specialist, we've renamed this sustainable personal development. It's part of our personal growth. The same as a self-care series you can get access to for free, because you're on the platform, on the Cubimo platform anyway. You can get it for free as well. 44 videos on how to improve yourself, because it's all part of our personal growth. We need to look after ourselves better. We need to grow ourselves. The only way tomorrow will be better if you do something about yourself to grow today. And that's what will reach you. Every step, every day will be another one. How can I grow? Sometimes we fail, and we ask at the end of the day, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And what do I need to improve? And what do I never need to do again? All these kind of things, very simple things, but very powerful if we implement these simple things every day. But we need to grow ourselves and develop our potential. And that happens by personal growth. That's why I did the video series. But every video has action steps for you to take, because knowledge will never be power. Never. Knowledge acted upon, and knowledge creates awareness, and awareness gives us more choices, because now we become aware of it. What are we going to do with it? So that's really about right thinking. Choices are a function of awareness. So the more aware we become aware of different things, the more choices we can make, which we couldn't make see, you've heard it before, we don't know what we don't know. Well, that is really about it. Once you get to know, what are you going to do with it? Then it becomes a choice. See, a big part of right thinking is the environment we create for ourselves. Who we spend time with, admire, and emulate has a big part in determining who we become. Now, I just said that, and one of them was the people, the things you hear, the things you read, and the people you associate with. So it's also about who do you spend time with. Les Brown says, also, he says it quite often in his motivational speeches, my friend and mentor. He said, you become like the 5 or 10 people you spend most of your time with. If they're broke, you're going to be broke. If they're negative, you'll probably be negative. And you can fill it in, you become like them. And he went so far as because of his younger days, he says, if they are in gangs, you probably be part of a gang, or you become part of a gang, and it's a downward spiral. So you need to really, and what it says there as well, and what we're talking about here is, to have right thinking, you need the right kind of people around you. And that's not the people who are always negative. Oh, life's so bad. And they sit in the same corner in the same pub on a Friday night or a Saturday night for the last 25 years talking about the same things, how life is so bad. And they wonder why nothing has changed, because their thinking has never changed. So what you need to do, and it might be I said you might need to change 1, 2, or 3, but here we talk about the people in your life. And I'm not talking about your family, your close family, but the people you normally spend time with, maybe your colleagues, your friends. Some of these people, maybe all of them, are so negative that you are more negative than you would like to be. If you're involved in this, you would like to be more positive. You might have to, I don't say we never discard people, by the way, but you might have to take a decision, however tough it is, to spend less time with them. If you want to walk into your potential, if you want, there is more. And I had something speaking into my heart for many years, and I knew there was more to me. I never hated my job, but after 30 years, I left because I finally found the missing part, which is actually this process where we went to help start transformation of an entire country. But there I found the missing part, that significance feeling, and I want you to have the same. And it's not about me, it's about you having significance by not only going through this process, by becoming a facilitator or even a specialist in this process, but by paying it forward and positively impacting the lives of other people in entire nations. But whatever it is for you, you might have to spend less time with all these negative people you spend with now, and seek out people who have the right thinking, seek out people who are, dare I say, more successful. And it doesn't mean about money, more successful in the way they think, in the surroundings they've got. Seek out different people and spend more time with them. And that might initially be just on YouTube. That might be on Googling them, on finding information about them, and watching their biographies or reading their biographies. It might be something like that to start with, if you can't find people directly, but start the process, because it is a big part in determining who we become, as I said already. So guarding the way we think about ourselves is another aspect of right thinking. See, too often we allow negative self-talk to play in our heads and create distorting beliefs about who we really are. This can destroy the seeds of potential in us and prevent us from becoming who we are capable of being. I talked into our God-given potential. We all have it. And this is why so many people take it to their grave. You know, we already know that story. The biggest wealth is not found in the diamond mines here in South Africa, in the oil fields in the Middle East, or all the stock exchanges around the world. No, it's found in the graveyards. There, all these people are who had all these great dreams and passions and inside of them, but it never did enough because of excuses, because of, oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, because all kinds of things that go wrong. But all of these things, even the people around us, they prevented us doing what we really wanted to do, and they took their passions, their purpose. The books were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never made, they all went to the grave with them. Don't let it happen to you. Start thinking better. Start thinking right. I hope it makes sense to you. See, it is also important to replace each negative thought with a true and positive statement about ourselves. Now, that's also talks into the last bit I just talked about, because self-talk, and I talk about it in self-care as well. Be very careful what you say to yourself. The most of the conversations we have are with ourselves. And you might say, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Well, that very voice, we've all got them. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. We're not crazy. But we need to be more aware of that conversation we have with ourselves. And if there's a negative, see, we can't stop all the negative coming into our heads, because there's so much negativity around us. But we can decide how long we mull them over. If we have a negative thoughts and become aware of them, I told them awareness, now we can make a choice. What are we going to do with those? Replace them with positive thoughts. Even if it's an affirmation, if it's a positive thought, just switch on a motivational video for a while, just to get rid of these thoughts. Yeah, there's so much you can do. Read something positive. Maybe you've got affirmations for your own life. You should all have them. I talk about it in the self-care as well, because it really helps you look after yourself, especially mentally and spiritually. And of course, when you do that, it helps physically as well, because it's all connected. Your mind and body are connected. In my martial arts, Aikido, which I've been practicing for many years, we talk about it, mind over matter, that type of stuff. And your mind can kill you or cure you. It can make you better, it can make you worse. It's your choice once you become aware of it. I'm telling you about it just now, right thinking. But there is so much to it, and I'm going to give you again some benefits, characteristics, and steps to follow. The benefits of practicing right thinking are, we will become better at self-control. When you take control of your thoughts, you set up a filter that helps you decide what action is best. See that filter I'm talking about? Yes, it can come in, but then filter all these negative things out. The more you are positive, that doesn't mean things don't happen to you, but it's been proven medically that you will recover quicker. You don't become ill so much. You build your immune system, and that's something we all need as well. See, you will also have influence with and be trusted by others, because they respect the way you think and how you conduct yourself. That's very powerful, by the way. That's a benefit and a half. They all are, of course. And some characteristics of a person who practices right thinking. See, these people recognize it is their responsibility to shape their own mind and be accountable for their actions. Accountability to the person in the mirror is the first accountability. You need to ask questions for that, and you need to be honest with yourself. See, they do not blame circumstances or other people for how they conduct themselves. And that's powerful. And another characteristic is, these people think before they act. They consider all outcomes before they make a decision, and only take actions on things that benefit others and themselves. Not only themselves, like some of these leaders are doing at the moment, but others and themselves. See, that is real right thinking. And it's powerful. I love this. I love all these values, by the way. So 2 steps to follow. Again, there's more, but you know, but now, if you've been here long enough, some steps to follow on how to practice right thinking. And one of them is surround yourself with quality people whenever possible. See, spend your time with those whose thinking you respect and admire. See, ask questions and listen intently. Now, there's a few really big points in there. I already told you about the, you know, the things you read, the things you hear, the people you associate with. So, Robert Kiyosaki talks about it. Les Brown talks about it. So many people talk about it. OQP, only quality people. Now, that's what you need to decide for yourself. Who are the quality people I want to spend more time with? And yes, it can be a bit sad that you might have to disappoint some people because you need to take a step back and don't spend so much time with them. But it's a choice. See? Spend your time with those whose thinking you respect and admire. Now, I don't say that you don't respect your friends or somebody's negative thinkers, but you can respect other people more for what it will do for your life. And then it's in leadership as well. Leaders become much better leaders when they listen rather than when they talk. And all they need is ask some powerful questions. I talk about it in my coaching workshop. When you ask more powerful questions, you get more powerful answers and you connect much better with other people. Ask powerful questions and all you do is listen. And that's the same with this. You know, when you get into a circle with amazing people who have got a much higher level of vibration, then you can start asking them questions and listen. These people are willing to talk because they're willing to help you. And it might even sometimes be on a phone call. It might not always physically connect, especially now with a Zoom call, whatever it is. But it is so powerful when you start listening to people because you learn a lot more from listening than you can learn from talking. And especially when you get around these people, it's beautiful. I surround myself with some amazing people as well because of that. It might be a bit selfish, but I want to grow too all the time. And I'm growing all the time through all this. And to the comments people make on Facebook on this as well, I learn so much all the time. It's beautiful. And you need to be hungry for that, as Les Brown says. And I'm hungry for so much of that. So the second step to follow is take the responsibility to change how you think. See, recognize that if there are things in your life you do not like, you have the power to change them. You know, as I always say, you're not a tree, move. So if you need to take responsibility for your own life, and the way you can do that is by first taking responsibility for the way you think and what you think. Write these things down. Take a journal every day. That might be a good step to follow if you want to. Take a journal and write down all the negative things that are coming into your head every day. You might need a big book. But I mean, write some of that down and then look at it at nighttime and you would be shocked. But once you become aware, you can make different choices. Your right thinking starts. Everything starts with a thought. So which action are you going to take? I give you a third one there. Which action are you going to take to create better thoughts in your mind, to start thinking right? Your life will depend on it, people. My life depends on it as well. So what are you going to do? When are you going to do it? Who are you going to do it with? Or what action are you going to take? It might be that journal, what I just said. Start journaling your thoughts. And you'll catch yourself thinking. And if it's negative, write them down. And then also write in that journal the positive things you can, start writing affirmations for yourself in the now, short things that are really going to help you. And there's so many of them. I can do a whole session on that too, but take care of yourself. Thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and habits will become your destiny. With that, I will see you in the next value. Take care.